CMCQ family, we are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel as we continue to deal with the pandemic. We're still processing the difficult questions of how long will this pandemic last? And when will it end? What will be a new normal? The truth of the matter is we don't know yet. And as we continue to expand gathering numbers as we have been working on for the past few weeks, we have to resist the urge to be impatient and to throw all caution to the winds. Instead, we take a deep breath and we will gather in stages. And in the meantime, we can cope by confessing our losses to the Lord and each other. We do this through the lost ministry of prayers of lament. In modern times, prayers of lament have often been forgotten. But in Lamentations chapter 1 and verses 1 through 3, Jeremiah the prophet is lamenting over the city of Jerusalem, which has been conquered, and many of its inhabitants have been taken into exile by the Babylonians. And he says this: "How deserted lies the city, once so full of people. How like a widow is she who once was great among the nations. She who was queen among the provinces has now become a slave. Bitterly she weeps at night, tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, there's no one to comfort her. All her friends have betrayed her. They have become her enemies. After affliction and harsh labor, Judah has gone into exile." And after lamenting for 5 chapters, he ends the book with the questions only God can answer in time, but he concludes with hopeful requests. He ends with the request to restore us to yourself, Lord, that we may return. Renew our days as of old, unless you have utterly rejected us and are angry with us beyond measure. That's lament. That's prayers and conversation of lament with the Lord. And so, friends, as we draw closer to the end of this pandemic, we can do the same thing. We can take our lament to God as Jeremiah took his lament over the city of Jerusalem to God. And know this: God can handle it. As he sustained Israel through this dark time, he will sustain us. The question will be, what have we learned about God? What have we learned about ourselves? What have we learned about this world as we go through this pandemic plague? Ponder on this, knowing that Jesus is with us in suffering and resurrection life. He went before us and he paved the way. That's the reason why we can have hope today. Because where there was death, there is also resurrection because of Jesus.